Did we accidentally call Jesus the Antichrist? Let's go dig in. Alright, so we're in chapter 6, and here we see that the first seal is open and a rider on a white horse comes out. Then, when the second seal is open, a rider on a red horse comes out. So there's a differentiation in colors, possibly trying to communicate something theologically. So if we go over to chapter 12, we'll start off with the red horse. And we see that that color red is also used to describe the red dragon, which we know later on is referring to Satan. Obviously an evil entity, right? And we can confirm that by going to chapter 17, where we are introduced to a scarlet beast, also color for red. And that woman that's seated on the beast is also dressed in purple and scarlet. So you see red referring to the red horse, the red dragon, the scarlet beast, and a woman dressed in scarlet. All clearly evil entities based on their color. So let's head back over to chapter 6, and when we see the rider on a white horse, notice that he goes forth conquering and to conquer. The description of the rider on the white horse conquering is interesting because in chapter 17, this is exactly what the Lamb does to the beast and its 10 horns. He conquers them. Also notice that this Lamb is called the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. If we head over to Revelation 19, we see another rider on a white horse, and he says that he judges and makes war. Now, those who follow him are also dressed in white linen. And if we scroll down, we see that this rider on a white horse is also called the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, similar to the Lamb. And if we scroll down even more, we also see that similar to the Lamb conquering the beast, this is exactly what the rider on a white horse does in Revelation 19. He captures the beast and throws it into the lake of fire and slays the remaining army that follows the beast with the sword that's in his mouth. Whew. So by following the theological pattern being laid out by the colors used in Revelation, when we look at the first seal, rider on a white horse, it would be a false assumption to assume that this entity is referring to the Antichrist simply because he goes out conquering, because that's exactly what the Lamb does in chapter 17. So perhaps the description of the rider on a white horse conquering in chapter 6 is a reference to the fulfillment of that judgment seen in chapter 19, which may suggest that this rider on a white horse in the first seal is not the Antichrist, but Jesus himself. Now, I know what else you're saying. Didn't the Lamb open the first seal from which the rider on a white horse emerges? And that's a great question. However, this is assuming that the events presented in Revelation are in perfect, linear, chronological order. And in future videos, I'll give very good reasons why this shouldn't necessarily be the baseline assumption. And if you want to learn more about stuff like this, go ahead and follow my Instagram, click the links in my bio, where I'll be creating more content and resources. See you next time, where we'll go digging some more.